The confetti has settled, the champagne has dried, and for the MotoGP paddock, the quiet hum of winter analysis has begun. In the wake of a truly historic 2025 season, Ducati Corse general manager Gigi Dall'Igna has broken his silence, not with a simple press release, but with a profound and revealing blog post that celebrates a triumphant Marc Marquez, while issuing a fascinating medical metaphor for the struggles of his dethroned champion, Francesco Bagnaia. The 2025 campaign will be remembered as the year of Ducati's absolute dominion, a third Triple Crown in their history. The Borgo Panigale factory was an unstoppable force, amassing a staggering 17 Grand Prix victories from 22 races, with 11 of those wins, plus 8 pole positions and 14 sprint victories, delivered by the resurrected Titan, Marc Marquez. The number 93 didn't just win his 9th World Championship and 7th Premier Class title. He authored a comeback story for the ages, ending a 6-year quest to return to the summit of motorcycle racing. In his detailed missive, Dall'Igna painted the season with numbers that border on the absurd. A 6th consecutive constructors' title won with 768 points, nearly double their nearest rival, and a clean sweep of the top 3 in the team championship. But beyond the statistics, the Italian engineer reserved his most poetic prose for Marquez. He is the first Ducati rider to achieve 15 consecutive sprint and GP victories, the first to stand on the podium for 11 races in a row, Dall'Igna wrote. He highlighted not just the results, but the journey, the return to the game, initially in a satellite team, his stubbornness and enthusiasm. The light in his eyes was the sign of a human adventure before a sporting one, lived with the humility of a rider who is always learning. He is an example for everyone. However, the blinding light of Marquez's success cast a long, dark shadow over the other side of the factory garage. For Francesco Bagnaia, the 2-time defending champion, 2025 was a brutal affair. A 5th-place finish in the championship marked his worst standing since joining the factory Ducati Lenovo team. A season plagued by uncharacteristic mistakes and, as Dall'Igna was quick to point out, profound misfortune, especially in the final stages of the championship. It is here that Dall'Igna, part engineer, part philosopher, delivered his most compelling analysis. Rather than offering hollow platitudes, he presented a theory of growth through adversity. If you want to learn some valuable lessons, I am convinced that you have to assimilate a situation like this, like antibodies, and draw even more determination to move forward and be yourself, Dall'Igna stated. This is not just a catchy phrase, it is a profound insight into the mindset required at the pinnacle of sport. An antibody is the body's learned response to a pathogen. It encounters a virus, struggles against it, and develops a stronger, more resilient defense for the future. Dall'Igna is framing Bagnaia's disastrous season not as a failure to be forgotten, but as a necessary infection of hardship that will ultimately fortify him. The struggles of 2025, the bad luck, the pressure from a titanic teammate, the lost points, are the pathogens. The lesson is the antibody. By processing this pain, Bagnaia is theoretically building an immunity to such crises in the future, emerging with a tougher psychological and competitive constitution. Dall'Igna was careful to balance this tough love with context, acknowledging that the unlucky Pecco was often unable to score points even in suboptimal situations, a frustration for both rider and team. The general manager's blog was not solely focused on the factory squad. He lavished praise on Alex Marquez, the vice-champion with Gresini Racing, calling his evolution important and deeming him undoubtedly worthy of a factory bike for 2026. He also highlighted the crucial contributions of the entire Ducati armada, from Fabio Di Giannantonio's strong second half to the promising rookie campaigns of Fermin Aldeguer and the testing potential of Nicolo Bulega. But it is the antibody metaphor for Bagnaia that will resonate loudest throughout the winter. In one elegant concept, Dall'Igna has simultaneously validated his reigning champion's difficult year, reframed it as a vital learning experience, and issued a clear expectation. This pain must have a purpose. As Ducati basks in the glory of a Marquez-led Triple Crown, the message to Bagnaia is clear: your time of sickness is over. Now it is time to get stronger. The core of this news lies in Dall'Igna's antibody analogy, which is a masterclass in strategic communication and high-performance management, reframing failure. Instead of letting Bagnaia's poor season be framed as a simple collapse or a loss of form, Dall'Igna recontextualizes it as a necessary step in a longer developmental arc. This protects the rider's confidence and shifts the narrative from what went wrong to what we are learning. It tells the world, and more importantly Bagnaia himself, that Ducati's faith in him is not conditional on a single season's results. The vaccine of adversity. The metaphor suggests that experiencing this level of difficulty now is preferable to encountering it for the first time during a future, potentially even more critical title fight. By going through this fever in 2025, Bagnaia is, in theory, building up a resistance to the pressures of an intra-team battle with a legend like Marquez, the agony of bad luck, and the psychological toll of a title defense gone wrong. This prepares him better for the unknown challenges of 2026 and the new regulations in 2027. Asat, a subtle challenge. While supportive, the analogy is also a challenge. An antibody is only effective if the body successfully assimilates it. Dall'Igna is implicitly placing the onus on Bagnaia to do the hard, introspective work required to learn from this season. It's a message that says, we believe this hardship can make you stronger, but the responsibility to make it so lies with you. Managing a two-headed monster. With Marquez's triumphant return, Ducati faces the enviable but delicate task of managing two alpha champions. By publicly framing Bagnaia's struggle as a valuable, fortifying process, Dall'Igna ensures that the Italian remains a central, valued part of the project, preventing the narrative from collapsing entirely into the Marquez show. This maintains team equilibrium and keeps both riders motivated, Marquez by the glory of his comeback and Bagnaia by the promise of a vengeful resurgence. While the spotlight rightly falls on Bagnaia, his challenging season inadvertently served as a crucial stress test for the entire Ducati technical structure, with the number 63 rider often struggling to find a sweet spot with the GP25. The engineers were forced to explore setup territories and development paths they might have otherwise ignored with a dominant champion.